Hi and welcome to Visionary Videos, where it's all about having a go and getting things done. Please subscribe to my channel, like this video and turn on the bell for post notifications. Today we're going to be looking at the Honda Odyssey RB3 rear bumper removal and tow bar install. This is for the Australian delivered Honda Odyssey. I believe it was also delivered to Indonesia and Thailand and also Japan. There's not much information for the Honda Odyssey RB3 online. There's a lot of videos on the American model, so I thought that you would appreciate this video of the rear bar removal. First off, remove the two plastic plugs, which I've already done in advance, simply with the screwdriver. Pop them out. Then remove the other lugs, just covering up the screws, and you can just pop those out with the screwdriver by simply inserting them into the little recessed area. Remove a total of 3 screws on each side, 2 in the lights and 1 on the bumper. Here I'm showing the best direction in which way to remove the light. I find that it's best to remove the light after you've removed the bumper. To remove the bumper there are 3 screws, 1 at the top, 1 in the middle and 1 at the bottom. The one at the top has a washer on it, the other 2 don't. It doesn't matter which order you remove them in. Repeat the process for the other side. The final step in removing the bumper is to remove the 2 Allen key bolts in the base of the bumper. Now it's time to pull the tabs out from the edge of the bumper. You can start on either side. I find it best just to pry them off at each side, leaving it hanging on the car. This can take a bit of force, don't be frightened, just pull back on each side. Now it's time to remove the bumper by pulling it back and away from the car. Move it away from the car in a safe position. Also a good opportunity to give the surrounding area a clean. Note the 3 tabs where the inner lip of the bumper inserts into the car. My initial attempt at just pulling the light free from the car failed. As you can see, it's fixed quite firmly in. A better solution is to insert a screwdriver or a soft plastic tool into the distal end of the light and pull out and away from the car, as there are 2 prongs that insert into the car directly and pulling back would simply break them off. The next part of the install was to install the wiring loom. This plugs directly into the back left-hand light. Simply remove the existing grommet and feed through. This loom was already supplied with the tow bar that I bought from the wrecker. I purchased it for $250, which is quite cheap, and made this a very good and cost-effective install because there was no labour. Now, to find the existing loom, it took a bit of fishing around. I actually had to put the camera in there because I didn't know where it was, and if you look closely you can see that the loom is actually bolted onto the chassis of the vehicle. Initially I tried to pry it off and just pull it back, but I found it quite difficult as it was fixed in. So what I needed to do was simply detach that plastic lug from the chassis by pulling out and away, and I found that the easiest way to detach the loom, because by just pulling it down it was too difficult and I didn't want to run the risk of shearing the wires from the body of the loom. As you can see here, I pulled out the plug from the existing hole where the grommet goes, and this was a much easier way to insert the loom into the existing hole. From here I took the loom and I swapped over the plugs into the original light of the car, rather than having to rewire everything into the car again. From here, simply had to plug it in, just passed it through the hole and joined the connectors up, so it all fitted nicely. I'm not sure what you call this, I think it's a crash bar, but it needs to come off for your tow bar install. Simply undo the bolts, there are a couple of bolts, and pull away. From here there are a few bolts which go into the tow hook. I think there were 4 in total. Simply undo those and put them aside. You may want to keep this for future use, or if you sell the car, decide to take the tow bar off, worth keeping. Note that the silicone used was a hindrance to removing the tow hitch there. So simply just scrape it off with a screwdriver or a pair of scissors or Stanley. To pull it off, I found it easier to put the screwdriver in and pry away, as this was quite adhered to the body from all the years that it was on there. Route the loom just on the underside of the light and around. You want to make sure you get it nice and flush so you're not pinching any wires off to avoid any potential issues. Here I just use the existing connector to tap into the other side of the light and the indicator, and we're just routing all the wires around, making them look nice and zip tying them on the underside of that bar there. There, it's all fixed and ready to go. Just checking that everything clears, nothing's going to get pinched off, and it's all in and put back together. The lights came in from the side and then were bolted in. At this point, I needed to cut a little section out to clear the tow bar, as the bumper was curling back up as I tried to refit it the first time. I didn't have that on video, but learn from my mistake and make sure you cut out a little recess there for the bar. Finally, put the bumper bar back on the car by doing the reverse of what you saw in the video. Don't be afraid to use a little bit of force when you're pushing the clips on. It just needs a little push in and it'll all go back together nicely. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel, turn on the bell for post notifications, and look forward to sharing more videos with you in the future. And remember, be a visionary, have a go. That's what it's all about. It's the only way you're going to learn. Thanks very much.